Hello, I'm Rosie. Last week I had the absolute pleasure of going to the London Book Fair. It's the first time I've ever been to any kind of book fair. Normally they're either too far away for me to get to or too expensive for me to be able to afford to go. But fortunately, London Book Fair had free tickets for students, so I didn't have to pay for my ticket, I just had to pay for transport, and it was only about 40 minutes away from home on the train. So it just worked out really well for me, and I had the absolute most fantastic time there. I only went for one day, unfortunately, because I had a dissertation to write at the same time, and I thought, well, one day would be a really nice day out and I'd get to experience lots of things. It'd be a nice break from work. 2 days would be pushing it a bit, given that I had a lot of work to do on my dissertation. So I only went for the first day of the fair, but even that day was just a lot of fun. When I first arrived, I wasn't really sure what to expect because I'd not been to anything like it before, and there were all these stalls everywhere. There were so many people and it was so big. I was not expecting it to be as big as it was.
Are you checking where we're going to?
I really enjoyed wandering around and seeing all the different publishers there were and the different topics and all the different countries. Normally, you don't really think that there can be so many published houses and so many countries involved, and it's such a big industry that it was kind of overwhelming to start with, because I was expecting something like a lot more smaller and not so crowded, especially since when I got there were no queues. I just walked straight in, which are fantastic. But after a while you got used to it and got into the swing of things, and I had a really great time. They ran seminars on a variety of topics from publishing and trends in the industry. Most of my time was spent going to these because I quite enjoyed going to seminars, and I learnt so much from just sitting there listening to the discussions going on. But the first one I went to was about the skills currently trending in the publishing industry, which was really interesting for me because that is something I really want to do. I haven't quite worked out what area I want to do yet, because every time I see a different area I think, oh, that looks exciting. But I think just so long as I'm able to work with books in any shape or form, I will be happy. It was really interesting to hear what skills are popular at the moment and what kind of things they want from applications, especially since as a psychology student I was quite wary at first of competing against people who have worked with books through English literature courses and things like that, whereas my field of research is that it's research in the human brain. So it was really interesting seeing how I could apply the skills I've gained through my degree into publishing. I also went to see a couple of author events, which were really interesting. I really enjoyed listening to authors talk, especially since I really like writing myself, and hearing other people's methods of writing and their views of what they feel should be included and how far they went with certain themes. For instance, with the dark fantasy and horror for young adults session, I really enjoyed listening to what is too much horror and where do you go, and how while death and murder and just anything gory is kind of becoming more acceptable in younger books, sex is still a kind of taboo topic, which was just really interesting to listen to. I also got to go and see an interview with Emma Healy, which was fantastic. I absolutely loved the book Elizabeth is Missing. I really enjoyed listening to how the story developed and how Emma Healy got into writing, and it's just really fascinating because everyone has a different story to tell, whether it be the story they write or their own life story and how they get to where they are. I really enjoyed Elizabeth is Missing, so getting to hear about how the novel developed and real life aspects to it, it gave the novel a lot more weight, and I think if I read it again it will mean a lot more to me than it did before, and even before it was still a really good book. So I think going to these kind of events is really good for learning about both the industry and the authors and the books themselves. I also got a signed copy of Elizabeth is Missing, which I haven't got here because I didn't want to risk it getting damaged on the trip back to university, so it's at home. But it was just a really nice day out, and I feel I learned a lot from just that one day, and I think next year I'll definitely try to attend again. And in the evening I got to go and see The Mousetrap, so it kind of made a nice little ending for a literary day in London. Mousetrap was absolutely fantastic. It's a play written by Agatha Christie, and it's the longest running theatre production ever. It's gone on for I think over 60 years now, and it's still fantastic. Even though it was written that long ago, it still works in today's environment, and I just really enjoyed it. If anyone is thinking of going to any kind of book fair in the future, I would say absolutely do it. It's an adventure that is worth the money and everything. And as well as getting to meet the authors and the publishers and everyone involved, we also got really cool tote bags. Where's it gone? With this amazing cover, and then on the other side, the Reading in Mexico, which was the market focus. Mexico had a really nice exhibitor section, which was so cool. But yes, I had a great time. Till next time, goodbye!